Can we just stop being offended all of the time? Just stop. When you take offense to all of the things around you, what people say and do, you give other people control over your emotions. Welcome back to With Karen D, the podcast, the place where we get honest about the things that shape how you show up, shape how you lead, how you perform, and how you live. The things that you can actually control. And if you don't know me already, I'm Karen Donaldson, celebrity communication, body language, and confidence coach. And I work with high performers around the world, whether they be CEOs, high net worth individuals, entrepreneurs, professional athletes, around how they can manage their emotions under pressure, whether they're doing an interview, whether they're on a sports field, whether they're in a conversation. And today we are going to talk about how to stop getting triggered so freaking easily and how to stop being offended all of the time. And I want us to be honest for a minute. We all know people who are easily offended. And those people are pretty much always unhappy. Nothing can please them. They're always complaining. They're always assuming malicious intent instead of, really looking at the facts. They're always making like this big mountain out of like really small issues. And here's what happens. We stop asking them to things. We stop inviting them. We stop asking them to join us. They get excluded. And if this is you, I don't want you to shy away. I want you to continue to walk with me. Because when you know how to let go of the habit of being easily offended, you'll protect your peace and it will literally improve every aspect of your life, your entire well-being. Here's what happens when you're triggered. Your emotional brain, which is called the limbic system, takes over. And your thinking side of the brain, your logical brain, which is also called the prefrontal cortex, literally goes on pause. I'm going to say that again. Here's what happens when you're triggered. When you're in that moment, that heightened moment of getting ready to take offense or taking offense. Your emotional brain, the limbic system, that's what it's called. Remember, I'm the science geek. It takes over. And your logical brain, the prefrontal cortex, hits pause. So you're really not thinking. You're being driven by your emotions. Your emotions take over and you become reactive. And for some people, there's also a physiological response. Like, your heart might be racing, your breath might get shallow, your palms get sweaty, like your shoulders get tense and plus, 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 plus. It's different for everyone. But the truth is this, the only way to stop getting offended is to train for it. When someone stays calm, we all know that it requires some type of work, right? Because the reality is this, being easily offended is a habit. So you truly have to be intentional about retraining yourself, how you show up, and create a new habit so that in the moment, you can walk yourself out of reaction mode and into response mode. And that takes work. It takes decision, it takes intention, and it takes work. But I want you to know it's all doable. Not taking offense is about mastering your emotional response. And this is you allowing your logical brain to lead instead of your emotional brain taking the lead. So we're responding with facts instead of feelings. Here's what I want to remind you of. 90% of the time, someone else's words reflect their own issues, not you and not your self-worth. And here's a fact. I'm going to say it loud and clear. No one can make you feel offended. You choose it. And no one wants to talk about this. We always talk about the person, the offender. The offender has nothing to do with it, no matter what they say or do. And I'm talking about conversations. I don't want to talk about, deep trauma and things like that. I'm not going there. I'm not a therapist. I'll tell you that I'm not a doctor, but I've worked with thousands of individuals across the world who wanted to stop taking offense. So I'm going to say it again. No one can make you feel offended. You choose it. Because here's the thing. Will people say mean things that will make it harder to remain or harder to not be unoffended? The answer is yes. People are rude, people are nasty, and people say and do things that hurt and wound others. A lot of the time, let's be honest, we're not going to pretend like we're in the perfect world, and I won't either. But here's a fact. People often speak from their own perspectives, their own experiences, their own hurts, their own personal struggles. And here's the thing. Can we stop them? Can we really stop them? The answer is no. We can't choose their actions, but we can choose how we respond, like letting go sometimes, or creating a boundary, or saying no. We can even choose to give people the benefit of the doubt and talk ourselves down from situations where our offenses start to get like super high and start to skyrocket. You can make it happen for you. Not everything has to be offensive. And when you stop becoming easily offended, your life becomes so much lighter. When you realize that what people say, most of the majority of the time, has very little to do with you, you're able to make the decision to not have it affect you, to have it bounce off of you. So you might be asking, okay, Karen, I hear all the nice talk, but how do I train myself? Here's exactly how I teach it and how you can do it as well. First, you want to start to train yourself by naming the feeling while you're in that heightened moment when you are feeling offended or you're feeling triggered. Instead of getting highly emotional and jumping in and becoming reactive and saying everything that spurts, into your head and spewing it out of your mouth, I want you to name the feeling and then intentionally choose to bring yourself back to the present moment. When we are in a reactive state, our actions are influenced by our emotions, not the facts in front of us. And what I'm asking, what you're training is to have your actions be responsive, not reactionary, by responding to the facts. Got it? Not reacting based on how you emotionally feel. So, as I said, I want you to start by naming the feeling and then bringing yourself back. So, when I say name the feeling, I literally want you to say what you're feeling. Like, I'm feeling, even if you want to use the language, which I don't highly endorse, I'm feeling anxious, but I want you to go deeper because anxious has so many attributes to it. My heart is racing. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling upset. Like, name it. I'm feeling cold. I have goosebumps all over. I'm feeling hot. I'm feeling heated. And then here's the work that you need to do. I want you to remove yourself from your feelings. So not feel, name it, acknowledge it, the fact, name the fact, what you're feeling. And then I want you to institute a technique to bring you back to the present moment. And this technique or techniques, and I'm going to share a few, it differs for everyone. You have to try them while in the midst of a situation and see which works best for you. So some of my clients use breathing techniques to calm their nervous system and to de-escalate or bring down, unheighten their emotional states. So one breathing technique that a lot of my clients use, and it works for, I would say, 95% of them, is this. It's a breathing technique, and it's called the physiological sigh. What it is 2 quick inhalations through the nose and a long exhalation, a long exhale through the mouth. No one even knows, no one needs to know that you're doing it. So you could be in the midst of someone yelling around you or something happening, just about to get irate, upset. And if you were to engage yourself in that breathing exercise, what it does is it engages the parasympathetic nervous system. It automatically starts to de-stress you. It automatically starts to help you calm down and have uh, your heart rate slow down as well. What you want to do is, once again, 2 inhalations, 1 long one through the nose, and you keep doing it until you feel yourself start to calm down. It'll calm your nervous system and reduce your stress in the moment. You simply repeat it over and over and over again. That's one strategy, one technique some clients use, and it's highly useful for in the moment. For some people, when they bring themselves back to the present moment, they simply, and I won't say simply, I shouldn't say simply, they verbally set a boundary. So instead of allowing things to get out of hand so your emotions are heightened, it might be you stopping someone in their tracks and stating something like, if someone's yelling at you and you're getting offended with what they're saying, it could be something like this. If you're going to yell at me, I'm going to leave. Now, the biggest thing when it comes to setting boundaries is you have to enforce your boundaries. So if you've said to someone, if you continue to yell at me, or if you say something to someone like, I'm open to having a conversation, but if you continue to yell at me, I'm going to leave. You have to enforce it. And what I mean by that is if they continue to yell at you, you have to leave. When it comes to boundaries, no one is responsible for maintaining your boundaries. You are 100% responsible for enforcing it. So that is another way to bring yourself back to the present moment, right? Another technique that clients use is called just repetitive phrasing. So it could be you repeating a phrase in your head that sounds something like this. As someone is doing something that usually offends you, you name your feeling. Remember, that's always the first step. Name your feeling, not out loud. You're naming your feeling right now. Whatever you're feeling, my blood's boiling. I'm getting upset. And then what they would do is repeat a phrase like this to bring them back to right here and now. What they're saying or what they're doing has nothing to do with me. What they're saying has nothing to do with me. What they're saying has nothing to do with me. Reminding yourself of the facts. So facts over feelings. Now, for me personally, I remember when I used to get easily offended. I was one of those people. And it's been years now, and I'm not trying to say that I'm never offended. I can get there, but I know how to pull myself back to the present moment. So exactly what I'm sharing with you here and I've shared with clients, I do it myself because we're all human and there will be moments. So as you continue to do it more and more, it becomes a brand new habit. So for me, I've made a decision that is this, and I want to share it. This is how I handle not being offended and not really being triggered by a lot of things, most things. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm human, right? I've made a decision that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and so am I. And I've made a decision to prioritize my own opinion and give everyone airtime. They're allowed to share what they want to say. They're allowed to say what they want to say, but so am I. I've decided to not give what people are saying a lot of meaning and give what I believe a lot of meaning. So I do not prioritize other people's opinions, especially when it's negative. And I keep it as simple as, you know what? We are all entitled to have different perspectives, and one could be far left and one could be far right. And that's okay because I can have an opposing opinion too. Does it have to be right or wrong? No, you can say what you need to say. I don't have to have it live in my head. I don't have to make it my truth for the next week. And like, that's one of the issues. When someone says something to us, we hold on to it. When the other person who said it, it is gone from their mind. They will say one thing that is 0.00002 seconds long. And next week, this same time, we are still thinking about it. We are still living in it. And the person who said that, once again, which most of the time is from their own insecurities, they have so forgotten about it. Stop handing over your power to other people. Does their opinion really matter that much to you? I want you to ask yourself, why are you getting offended? Why am I adding so much meaning to what this person said for 0.002 seconds? Let it go. The key is to be intentional and choose how you respond, and respond in a way that benefits you and you only. And when you start to do that, it becomes automated. It becomes your new habit. So as soon as you feel your emotions get heightened, you know what technique works for you. And I want you to go directly into it. Will it happen overnight? No. I don't want you to wait until you're in a heightened state, but throughout the day, let's be real. There are things that will piss us off, right? Just small things. You might go home and you may have cleaned the table, and everyone should clean the table and do their due diligence after they eat. And you'll normally go put your stuff down when you're home from work or wherever, and you look at the table and someone left their cup. In that moment, remember, you start small and you build because you're creating a new habit. In that moment, name your feeling and decide to bring yourself back to the present moment and respond. So where you'd usually yell up in the house, hey, who left the dirty cup on the table? Name the feeling. I'm feeling so pissed right now. Institute that technique. So it might be that calming, that physiological sigh, 2 inhalations, 1 long exhalation. Calm yourself. And then make a decision on what you're going to do, right? Because the truth of the matter, is it the end of the earth that someone left something on the table? Or is it something you talk about at family dinner and say, hey guys, a reminder, after you eat, everyone needs to wash their dishes or put it in the dishwasher, instead of making it this huge thing? Does it really mean that much? Or is it a conversation that needs to take place, right? So doing this and training yourself will allow you to not automatically go into offended mode. And it will stop allowing your emotional brain to take over. We want your logical brain, the factual side, to take over. When you decide to train yourself to not be easily offended, you get to, 1, protect your peace and mental energy. That's so important. You no longer allow someone else's words or actions to dictate your emotional state. When you do this, number 2, you take back control of your personal power. When you decide not to be offended, it means that you recognize that taking offense is entirely a voluntary choice. And when you choose to not grab onto the negativity, someone else's negativity, you refuse to label yourself as a victim. And this builds like huge emotional resilience. And that's what's important. It's your emotional resilience. And 3, it can also help develop deeper connections. And what I mean is this: people speak from their own unique perspectives. They speak from their own experiences, their personal struggles, etc. When you stop taking every little word or thing that they say personally, you stop putting up defensive walls. And it allows you to approach conversations with a little bit more empathy. It allows you to approach conversations from a space of curiosity. And that will always strengthen a relationship. Sometimes, I'm going to say it can be as simple as this. I'm going to say it. Sometimes you just need to freaking lighten up. Just lighten up and realize that it's not that serious, and realize that it's not about you. Opposite to your own thoughts, not everyone is thinking about you all of the time. And when we get offended, we assume that the other person had us in mind, and a lot of the time they don't. If you're doing that, that is arrogance. There is a strong chance that you weren't even in the equation when that person said or did that offensive thing. Lighten up. Stop making yourself the center of the world. Lighten up. Just let go of the offense. Let go of the offense faster than you allow it to weigh you down, because you're the only one allowing it to weigh you down. It's a choice. As I close out this episode, remember, being offended is a choice. We can't control someone else's words or their actions, but we can always control how we choose to respond. Now, the ball is in your court. Will you continue to react, or will you make the intentional decision to respond? If you are watching this and you're tired of being triggered all the time, maybe it's time for you to do something different. I'll see you on my next episode of With Karen B, the podcast. My only ask of you is this. If you need, or if you have someone who would be enlightened by this episode, if you liked it, please like, share, comment below. Tell me your thoughts. How do you work it out? How do you manage when you are offended? Share below, and I'll see you on the next episode.